With no less than 12 individual Group 1 winners in the lineup, the Racing Post described this year's Golden Jubilee as arguably the classiest sprint ever run in Britain. But when push came to shove, nothing could live with Star Spangled Banner.
Star Spangled Banner, near side Star Spangled Banner has won it.
His last piece of work, his second last furlong, was just under 9.5 seconds. Never saw it before at home, you know. So, like, when a horse is able to do that part of a work, we never saw a horse able to go that quick before. Like, we never had a horse able to go that fast, like furlong by furlong. Do you understand? Like, you don't record those kind of times. We've never recorded them anyway.
I remember saying to my co-commentator Richard Hoyles before the Golden Jubilee that this was just about one of the best sprint fields we could ever remember, and Star Spangled Banner beat them all.
Next stop for the striking chestnut was Newmarket's July course, for what is regarded by many as Europe's premier sprint.
Star Spangled Banner digging in here to win the July Cup.
The time was a near record, and faster than previous winners Oasis Dream, Annaba and Green Desert, who have all gone on to make their mark at stud. Remember, of course, that these Group 1 successes were achieved before Star Spangled Banner reached his 4th birthday, yet he carried the same as the European-bred older horses. Remember also that his July Cup win came at the end of an 11-month spell, during which he'd been first past the post in 7 of his 11 starts.
Effectively a Southern Hemisphere 4-year-old competing on disadvantageous weight for age terms during our summer campaign. So effectively, the earlier he was winning, the slightly better those performances in all probability.
Well, Star Spangled Banner had to have some incredible constitution to do what he did, having been shipped across from down under. And his performance in the July Cup was particularly special, I thought, the way that he showed that blinding pace to get across that far rail. And I stood next to him in the parade ring at Haydock on the day of the Betfred Sprint Cup, and the horse had a real aura about him, an enormous physical presence, and almost as if to say to the other sprinters, what on earth are you doing in the same parade ring as me?
Back in the Coalfield Guineas, he showed he had the class to stay a mile, winning in a faster time than multiple champion sire Redoubt's Choice.
Still Star Spangled Banner at the 100 metres from Carrara Manhattan Rain. They're not going to get him. Star Spangled Banner all the way over 2 lengths.
Then, back at Coalfield, he scored again at the highest level, this time over 5.5 furlongs in the Oakley Plate.
Star Spangled Banner leads a charge with Avenue getting up along the inside. Hitway flashing home. Eagle Fall starting to swamp them now. Aranos pushing through. What's going to win this? They hit the line. Star Spangled Banner.
A winner between 5 furlongs and a mile in Australia, so a horse with great versatility, a horse of terrific presence as well. When he walked around the parade ring, you know, he really just tended to fill the eye and really stood out a little bit on looks.
But as well as having the speed and toughness often associated with the Australian breds, Star Spangled Banner has class and quality in abundance. A higher rated sprinter than his sire, grandsire and great-grandsire Danehill, Star Spangled Banner also hails from one of the most consistently successful families in Australasia over many generations. His close relative Haraldson also enjoyed Group 1 success at Royal Ascot, while Elvstrom notched up no less than 6 Group 1s, including the Dubai Duty Free.
A tremendously imposing horse to look at. I saw him first when we visited Ballydoyle, and you couldn't fail to be impressed by his physique. Pure strength and power and speed, everything a sprinter should be. Aiton was raving about him, said he was doing 9-second furlongs and so forth at home.
I think in terms of sprinting, Star Spangled Banner was probably just about the best sprinter we've seen in this country since his sire Choisir, that season where Choisir locked horns with Oasis Dream. They were 2 very superior sprinters, and I think Star Spangled Banner was probably the best that we've seen since.
So he's got pedigree, confirmation, he's got top class performances you know, on 2 different continents. He must have a lot of appeal.
Think speed and toughness. Think class and quality. Think Star Spangled Banner. Two sons of Danehill Dancer sired Group 1 winning sprinters in Europe in 2010. Alfred Nobel is a Group 1 winning 2-year-old by Danehill Dancer. And what's more, he's from the immediate family of world champion New Approach.
You know, he got loads of speed, always showed loads of speed.
His dam is out of the high-class Dazzling Park, herself a daughter of the brilliant 2-year-old and 3-year-old Park Express. Alfred Nobel went on an unbeaten run of 3 races at Leopardstown and the Curragh beginning with a maiden in the month of May.
Alfred Noble hits the front, Montecchio towards the outside of Bobby Scott, racing inside the last 200, Alfred Noble and Johnny Murth in front.
Stepping straight up to Group 2 level, he then landed the Railway Stakes on Irish Derby Day.
Alfred Noble out in front, being chased by King Ledley, in some respect running a big race on the far side, but up towards the line. Alfred Noble is going to win Aidan O'Brien his 11th Railway Stakes.
Next time out, he came from a seemingly impossible position to land the Group 1 Phoenix Stakes, a race won by his own sire, Danehill Dancer.
He was able to finish off his races very good. I think he showed in the Phoenix Stakes. You know, he was able to sit back. They went slow. Looked like it was all over, but he's a great acceleration.
Alfred Noble coming home very strongly over on the far side. Air Chief Marshal and Alfred Noble and Johnny Murth have come from last to first.
Speed, precocity, the right sire, and a great family. Alfred Noble ticks all the boxes. Whichever way you look at it, you have to like the way you are. You want performance? Meet one of the outstanding juveniles of his generation. Every time Andre Fabre stepped him up in grade, he would raise his game to win again. And his fourth consecutive success in the Group 1 Criterium International confirmed him one of the best 2-year-olds in Europe.
The way you are battling on the far side of the Stefan Pasquier, the way you are just getting up perhaps from Hello Morning in second, the way you are lands the Group 1.
Meet a son of King Mambo, bred on the same Sadler's Wells cross as Henry the Navigator, El Condor Pasa and Divine Proportions, a horse whose half-sister Peeping Fawn was European champion 3-year-old filly. Their dam Meryinsky, runner-up to Gossamer in the Fillies Mile, was herself out of Kentucky Oaks winner Blush with Pride, which makes Meryinsky a half-sister to 3 group or graded winners, including Blue Hen Mare Better Than Honour, who produced consecutive winners of the Belmont in Jazeel and Rags to Riches. Like Peeping Fawn, Rags to Riches won 4 Group 1 races in a row, and her Belmont success over the mighty Curlin was the first by a filly in 102 years. Also featuring El Gran Senor and Australian sire sensation Redout's Choice, this is one of the most regal pedigrees of our time. The way you are, he's all class. Although he had already been champion sire in 2008, 2010 was the year when Galileo entered a whole new stratosphere. 7 individual Group 1 winners, 3 of them 2-year-olds, including champion-elect Frankel. But according to the experts at Timeform, his highest rated son to date is still Rip Van Winkle on a mark of 134. Indeed, since Galileo himself achieved the same rating of 134 in his classic year, no 3-year-old at Ballydoyle has equalled the rating of Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle had always been highly thought of at Ballydoyle. Aidan O'Brien, he'd always said that this horse had tremendous talent.
On his first start in Group Company in the month of July, he lived up to his lofty home reputation, with a classy success over the Royal Ascot winner Kushgara.
But Rip Van Winkle has the advantage of a length as they go to the line. Rip Van Winkle will win the Tyros by a length and a half.
Plagued by problems with his feet throughout his career, Rip Van Winkle ran 2 fine races in the Guineas and the Derby, but he was yet to really find his stride.
But he's a horse who had fairly well documented problems, minor ones, but managed to run through that and still perform consistently at a high level, and I do think that is the mark of a high-class racehorse.
In the Eclipse, he managed what no other horse did all season, to give See the Stars a real race.
Rip Van Winkle, his old rival, is closing up on the Guineas and Derby winner.
I think that race that we saw in the Eclipse Stakes in 2009 was a fantastic performance. You know, I worked at Timeform for many, many years, and I know how well defined their speed figures are, and the speed figure for See the Stars in that race, and also by implication for Rip Van Winkle, were of the highest quality.
Following this gallant effort, it was off to Goodwood to face Group 1 winning milers at Royal Ascot, Paco Boy and Gennady.
As they run down towards the final furlong, Rip Van Winkle from Paco Boy, Gennady beaten off back in third. It's Rip Van Winkle who's holding on from Paco Boy, and it's going to be another Sussex Stakes for O'Brien and Murtagh, and Rip Van Winkle wins in terrific style.
I rode him up the other day, I knew he'd do this. You know, that's the way he works. He's getting more like Henry to navigate all the time. He's just trailing horses, relaxed. When you ease him out, he's just boom, really professional. It was all over at the 2 marker. He's brilliant stride, brilliant balance. He was brilliant from day one.
He has that unbelievable class. He just travels so easy, and he's always kind of in third gear, if you know what I mean. It's a credit to the horse's toughness and determination, and obviously everybody saw his ability today, you know, but that's why he's always shown at home. Listen, he's just a very special horse.
His Sussex Stakes performance was rated superior to that of See the Stars in the Guineas, and earned him the title of European Champion 3-year-old miler. Next up was Ascot for the QE2, where he justified long odds-on favouritism.
It's Rip Van Winkle shortening stride. Zakinto on the outside trying to pick him back. Rip Van Winkle's digging. He's digging deeper. He's found it. And Rip Van Winkle has pulled it out of the fire.
Yes, typical Ballydoyle horse. Courageous, brave. You know, Aidan, you know, works hard on these top horses, and they always say when they come to the big day, they're always there ready to really fight.
It's the early speed he has and the way he cruises, and then like he's courageous at the end of it. So if you have a horse that with that high cruising speed, like I said, like unless we had a Group 1 sprinter today, we wouldn't have had any horse be able to lead him.
Rip Van Winkle's third and final Group 1 success came as a 4-year-old in York's Juddmonte International, where he bettered 6 different Group 1 winners, including the sponsor's dual champion stakes winner Twice Over and the same owner's Prince of Wales' stakes winner Byword.
Entering the final furlong, Twice Over on the far side of Byword. Rip Van Winkle is still inching closer as they race up towards the line. Twice Over, Byword. Here's Rip Van Winkle storming home on the near side. Rip Van Winkle will get there. Rip Van Winkle wins the Juddmonte.
Rip Van Winkle is clearly a horse who demonstrated that day he's got a bit of everything, in fact quite a lot of everything. So he's got that acceleration, he's got those guts, he's got that tenacity, and he's got that determination, and what a magnificent looking beast as well, isn't he? So he really did stamp himself on the memory that day.
Rip Van Winkle's top race record and impressive physique are augmented by a fine pedigree. In addition to being a son of a champion sire, Rip Van Winkle also comes from an outstanding female line, which traces to the champion 2-year-old Mesopotamia. The 7-time champion sire in New Zealand, Volksrad, and the consistently successful Holling are other members of this family.
He's got an interesting pedigree as well by Galileo out of a Stravinsky mare. So there's a blend of stamina, or middle distance stamina, and speed in his pedigree, which will make him an interesting prospect at stud.
I mean, Galileo with speed, but with the versatility to run well in races like a Derby. And considering also, you know, if you think of one of the oldest cliches in racing, no foot, no horse, he did all that as well during his 3-year-old campaign with problematic feet. And I think that says an awful lot about A, what he achieved, and B, you know, the possibility that it could have been even more.
Galileo has proven remarkably successful with mares by Danehill and others from the Danzig line, and there's every reason why Rip Van Winkle should be the same. Precocity, speed, class, looks and pedigree, Rip Van Winkle lacks for nothing.